Let me tell you, though, why a lot of people fail it. A lot of people fail it, a lot of smart people fail it, because, one, it has 250 test questions. I don't care what kind of an Einstein you are, but when you get up to a question, let's say 188, you're tired. You don't care anymore. You just don't care. You're like, I don't care anymore. You're mentally fatigued when you get to question 188 and you still got to go up to 250. So that's why you need to prepare yourself for this exam by doing lots of test questions prior to the exam. What you want to do is at least 150 test questions at one sitting 5 days before the exam. So you sit down 5 days before the exam, do 150 test questions. It'll take you about 2 hours. Do not get up in between those questions. Don't do like 10 questions, get up, go to the refrigerator, sit back down, do another 5, put the kids to bed. Don't do that. You got to stay seated. Do 150 test questions. You know, no pain, no gain. You got to sit down, do 150 test questions. It'll take you about 2 hours. Then the second day, it'll take you about an hour and 45 minutes. Then the next day, take you an hour and a half. Then an hour and 50 minutes. Then, one day before the exam, it'll just take you 1 hour to do 150 test questions. So then when you get to the exam and you sit down in front of 200 questions, you'll bang out 100 or 150 in 1 hour, and you're like, all right, bring on the test. So it's very exciting. So make sure you do 150 test questions 5 days before the exam. In your booklet that you got today, they have test questions there. And then we have other books with a whole bunch of questions. The Emergency Nursing Examination Review has about 900 questions in it. But your handout has 150 questions in it, so you could just do the same ones. You don't have to do different ones each and every night. Good. Another reason why this test is difficult. It's my opinion, but I firmly believe they ask the most picky-uniest little questions you could ever imagine. Really. Really, I mean, it's just my opinion. But picky-un, for example, they got some guy coming in with aortic aneurysm. They want to know the signs and symptoms. So I'm saying to myself, oh, you know, severe pain to the back, maybe unequal pulses. I'm looking for big-time assessment findings. You know what it is? Hoarseness. Hoarseness. I live in Staten Island. That's where the mafia lives, you know. So whenever they come into the ER, they're always going, eh, eh, eh. I'm like, aortic aneurysm, up to the OR. You know, you know what they do? I think when they make the test, they bring that core curriculum. You know that CEN core curriculum? Right. I think they bring that. And they sit around they must sit around a table and say, let's write a test question on aortic aneurysm, right? And then they probably look through the book. And in the book, it has like 25 signs of aortic aneurysm. And the very last sign is hoarseness. So I think they probably sit around the table saying, hoarseness? I never knew that. Did you know that? Let's put that on. So they like ask the most picky-uniest little things. So today we'll be doing like a lot of picky-uni little things. You'll be saying to yourself, what you doing this for? I'm doing it because you need to know this because it may be on the exam. I'm also going to cover those topics that you probably never see in your whole life in the ER. You're probably saying, why is she doing this? I'm doing it because you need to know it for the test. I'm not going to cover the things you always see in the ER. I'm not going to talk about angina and otitis media. You see that all the time. They would never ask a question like that on the test. I'm going to go through the most picky-uniest stuff imaginable, and I'm going to cover those things that you never see in your entire life, like Jimson weed overdose. When's the last time you saw someone coming in with that? I mean, Jimson weed. I wouldn't even know I don't have a clue what it is. I mean, have you seen people come in with that? I mean, when they come in, they have like atropine-like signs and symptoms. But again, I'm going to cover those things that you never saw, never will see, probably could never use in your entire career, but you're going to pass the test.